Hello, and welcome to the Tavern Tab Podcast. I am your host, Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, your main proprietor at Tenkar's Tavern blog, the Tenkar's Tavern Discord server, Meebie group, Facebook group, Twittering, and Instagram. I really got to work on the last two. So, what is in the news today? Somebody, I guess I'll call them John Doe, sent me via the blog contact form an interesting link to the Wisconsin courts because apparently, now here before we even get into exactly what the filing is, I'm gonna give a little history here. Okay, we have the what was it, the revocable or irrevocable Gygax trust. That is what controls the IP, and then we have the Gygax Memorial Fund. That is what is raising money for what may at some point be a memorial. Now, I tend to not talk much about the fund. About the trust. I talk about the fund all the time. Well, I used to. I tended not to talk about the trust because that was family business, right? I mean, the community doesn't own it. Right? The community's not giving money towards it, but hey, you remember Tom DeSanto, Transformers producer, big deal a couple of years ago when he signed a deal with Gail to produce IP property, whether it was going to be on-demand, network, movies, whatever, based upon the original works of Gary Gygax that Gail controlled via his IP. Now, I had always heard rumors, pretty strong ones, that the reason why nothing initially got done with that is because to make these projects legitimate and sellable to Hollywood, or the powers that be, Tom DeSanto wanted Luke Gygax to be involved in whatever projects they pitched. And my understanding, again, I did not hear this from anybody directly involved, is that Gail Gygax said pretty much over my dead body, is Luke going to make any money off of Gary Gygax's IP? So, then Tom DeSanto sued Gail, and then all of a sudden, Tom dropped the lawsuit. And when Tom dropped the lawsuit, I already heard rumors that there was a second will out there. There's the will that Gail is operating under, which Gary gave her, and I believe her sister would be her beneficiary, but Gary gave Gail the property, his IP, via the trust. But there was supposedly a second will out there, one that was after that will that Gary wrote, giving such to his children, not to Gail. So, and that would mean that back when Gygax magazine pretty much was technically not sued out of existence, it was legal action was taken against it for use of a name that was copyrighted or trademarked by the trust, and defending that, it gets complicated. But needless to say, major reason for that magazine failing was legal reasons behind the scene. Now, why would Tom DeSanto, who was suing Gail for millions of dollars, I remember Gail was saying he's suing this poor old woman, he's going to take my home, yada, yada, yada. Why would he suddenly drop the lawsuit? Well, you're going to drop that lawsuit if it's pointless to win if you're suing for a property that Gail does not own, right? If her will is not valid, and Tom kind of hinted at something like that when he made a statement as to why he dropped the lawsuit. Why throw good money after a property that even if you win, you might not actually win? Well, lo and behold, the link that I was sent, which I will share on the blog side later on tonight. I am operating from my phone. I'm so sorry. But back on March 27, 2020, a will was filed. It was a 4-page will, and it was dated sometime in 2006. Apparently, the month and date was not legible. And then, next update was a consent to serve as personal representative for Lucian Paul Gygax. Now, apparently that there is a misspelling here in the court documents, and Luke Gygax is Gygax. If I see him, yes, Gygax.
Only in legal things.
Yes, that's when his lawyer gets assigned. And then, also on March 27th, Lucian Paul Gygax, granting petition of formal administration, receiving copy of will dated July 11th, 2006, and with no objection of admitting will to probate. So this would mean that Luke took an action, represented by an attorney, to get this mysterious will, which I have been told by somebody knowledgeable that they had seen the will firsthand. And the reason why things were never an issue before, because the family didn't really want to stir the ship. But I got theories on that one, so we're going to get to that in a second, or in a minute, depending on how long. So in any case, first motions and stuff are back in March. April 22nd, application for formal administration, will and notice of hearing mailed to interested parties on April 22nd. And apparently that went out to, I guess, all the kids. Now, May 6th. I think this is the next big time. Oh, May 5th, will file additional text, 2 original wills, each with unique date. Okay. May 6th, Gail Carpenter Gygax hires an attorney, or at least notice of retainer. Objection to the admission and probate of the last will and testament of Ernest Gary Gygax Sr. An objection to the appointment of Lucian Gygax as personal rep. So Gail was served with what was the intent. Gail hired a lawyer. That's her right. 5/11. Petitioner Lucian Gygax appeared by phone. Basically, most of the family appeared by phone. There was an objection to admission of will and appointment of Lucian as PR. Attorney Gorn states they have spoken, but no agreement is reached. So, proof of publication is the last update, 5/14. So, here's the deal. This is what I see as going on. There was no GaryCon this year. Okay? GaryCon is probably lucky if they didn't lose money this year. And I supported. I ordered some swag. Always cool to have. It's a great con. I do like to support it. It's a great family. I do like to support them. But Gail is sitting on Gary's intellectual property with a trust that she's already broken one deal on. Now, if you were Tom DeSanto and you had an opportunity to deal with somebody like Luke as opposed to Gail for the same property, wouldn't you take a step back and wait for that? I know I would. And that is apparently what I would surmise is going on. Okay? Luke is the petitioner. The rest of the family members, whether it's Gail, Ernie, Mary Elise, Heidi Jo, Cindy Lee, or Alex, they're beneficiaries. Okay? But Luke is saying, hey, I should be the one that deals with the will. Now, my understanding, from what I have heard Again, put this in a level of assumption. Don't put it down as God-given truth, because God knows sources can be wrong. Is that this will in question, the one that supposedly supersedes Gail's copy that she operates on, gives the property, the trust, to the offspring, and that includes Alex. Everybody from Luke to Alex and in between would, so you're basically looking at, I guess, like a corporation, maybe the board of directors or whatever. I think that because Gary Kahn did not bring in money for the family, and this money is basically just sitting there waiting. If they have a valid copy of a will that supersedes Gail's, yes, file. And thus Luke did. Now, and again, I'm saying Gary Kahn, 327, petition for administration. I didn't even think of this before I opened this up, but I'm beginning to wonder, Gary Kahn. What day was Gary Kahn supposed to be?
March.
It would be good if I could type this into Google without Gary Kahn.
Does it say it on the cups?
It probably does say it in the cups. Here we go. March 26th to the 29th. So it would be that Friday, the Friday of the con, is when Luke filed. Wow. Think about that. Wow. All right, folks. I'd like to hear your comments and your thoughts on this. Please leave a voicemail. Please leave one at the beep. Or you can message on the blog side later on tonight. And the blog side's probably going to go up pretty much without comment. I'll direct people over here to hear my observations, my thoughts, my ideas. All right, folks. On that note, as always, social distancing, 6 feet, wash your hands, 20 seconds, right? Wear a mask. Don't go out needlessly. I need to go out at some point. I need my Heineken Zero. I know. No alcohol for me, but I'd like my beer. I'm going through withdrawals. Oh, no, not real. I know. Psychological. All right, folks. Be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice. And I will talk with you all tomorrow. Later, folks.